TOI-561b, the first rocky planet with an atmosphere detected thanks to the James Webb telescope. Groundbreaking discovery of an alien world with atmosphere, temperature measured at 1,700 degrees Celsius, defying expectations of exoplanets close to their star. Today we know of at least 6,000 extrasolar planets. They are those that revolve around a star other than our Sun. For the moment, we are only able to find those that are rather large and close to us, due to the limitations that our means of investigation have for the moment, even if they are very perfect and efficient. There are all kinds, large and gaseous like our great Jupiter, or, in much smaller numbers, small and rocky like our Earth or Venus, but there had never been evidence until now of a rocky planet, like ours, with an atmosphere around it. Thanks to NASA's powerful James Webb telescope, we have evidence today. The alien world that we are talking about these days, since an important research by an international group of astrophysicists, was published in the authoritative astrophysical journal. It is called TOI-561b, a technical name that identifies the parent star and also one of the 3 planets that revolve around it and would have an atmosphere, albeit a very particular one. The Earth has a diameter of about 13,000 kilometers, a little less, and an atmosphere, let's say 100 kilometers thick, even if the one in which we can breathe reaches less than a tenth. If we reduce the Earth to the size of a watermelon, the round ones, the atmosphere will be much thinner than a light sheet of plastic, the kind we use to save the freshness of food in the refrigerator. This example shows us how difficult it is, billions of kilometers away, to understand whether the atmosphere is there or not, and at the same time also how delicate the Earth's atmosphere is, which allows us to live by breathing. TOI-561b is the innermost of at least 3 planets orbiting a rather old star, 10 billion years old, which is about 280 light-years from Earth. It is a strange planet for us since it is only 1.5 times the size of Earth. It is only 1.5 million kilometers from its star, compared to our 150 million kilometers, and completes a complete orbit in less than 11 hours. Basically, it is roughly the same size as us, but it has a year that is less than half of our day, and since it is so close to its star, it is calculated that the temperatures are such that it can melt the rock. Not exactly a cozy place. Now, under such conditions, scientists think that planets generally lose all atmospheres due to heat and bombardment by the intense radiation that comes from the nearby star. Previous observations, made since 2020 with other satellites, have shown us that TOI-561b has a very low density for a world of rock, and therefore a new explanation must be found from the mechanism by which it formed. The fact that we see an external atmosphere could account for the low density. To test whether or not the planet has an atmosphere, the team used the JWST telescope to measure the temperature of the day side of TOI-561b in May 2024. The Space Telescope, with its sophisticated instruments, measured a temperature of only 1,700 degrees Celsius, 1,000 less than what the planet was expected to have. After many justified computer simulations, scientists realized that the atmosphere could be there indeed, given the temperature, the strong winds generated by the difference with the surface of the planet itself allowed the cooling found. Basically, in this somewhat hellish world, a balance seems to have been created between the surface of molten lava and the atmosphere, which allows balance between the 2 components, and the density we observe is those of planet plus atmosphere. It is interesting to see today the development of this brand new part of astrophysics. That there were other worlds around the stars that populate both our galaxy and the others was, until 1995, a consolidated belief, at least in the last century, but not proven. Of course, discovering the first planet that revolves around a star, a discovery made in Geneva with a relatively small telescope, but with a good dose of ingenuity, has fulfilled one of humanity's great dreams, clearly linked to the possibility of discovering other life in the universe. Today, we are convinced that practically every star of the billions that populate our galaxy can have planets around it. We would not be a special case, quite the contrary. We are discovering, as in this case, situations that we did not think could exist, and all this is also telling us a lot about our origins.